Time for today's perspective. And if you're a little girl growing up in Malawi, it's estimated by the UN that you have approaching a 50% chance that you'll be married before you reach 18. There's even an approaching 10% chance you'll be married by the age of 15. A serious problem, of course, then, that takes children out of education for a life they have not chosen. Well, my guest today is trying to do something about that. Ulanda Mtamba is a campaigner against child marriage. She's country director for the non-profit NGO AGE Africa. She's just been named as well one of the BBC's 100 Women for 2023. She joins me now on the programme. Thanks very much for joining us on the programme. I mean, those figures I mentioned there, I mean, they do sound quite astounding, don't they? Approaching half of girls married before they get to 18. Why does that happen in Malawi?
The problem we have in Malawi is the issue of poverty, where a lot of young girls are married off because parents need some support to support the children that they have, or for the girls themselves, they need more support in terms of food and other needs, clothing and all that. So mostly you find that the parents decide to choose to marry off girl or child than mostly boys, but also sometimes the girls themselves, because they don't have that adequate support in their communities, and they are forced just to make that decision to go into marriage just to run away from the poverty in their homes.
So it sounds like it's become a social norm even.
It is a social norm as well, because you find that this is so grounded that in most villages and communities in Malawi, people really don't consider much the education for a girl child, because by the end of the day, you find that they will consider a girl child that she'll get married, she'll be home, she'll be raising kids, and the husband is supposed to take care of the family. In that aspect, education for a girl child is not really very important and considered to be just part of the social norm that girls can be married off even at the age of 10, 11 or 12 years.
Now, there was a constitutional amendment, wasn't there, back in 2017? It raised the age of marriage to 18 for both girls and for boys as well. Has that not made any difference?
I would say that surely, yes, Malawi outlaws child marriage, and the law was enacted 2017, and to raise the age of child marriage to 18 years. But you find that these practices are still going on in various communities and the villages. And the more we work, the more we bring to book the culprits, whether it's the parents or the men that are marrying off their own children. You find that the practice goes underground, and it becomes very difficult for advocates like us to work to bring that to book and to bring the culprits to judgment. But as AGE Africa, as an organization, we make sure that we send girls to school, we protect them, and whenever there is that case of a child being married off before the age of 18, we make sure that we follow up that case, bring the girl back to school, and also make sure that the parents and the culprits should be able to face the law. But it's still a big challenge here in Malawi.
Yeah, I mean, it's your proof, if you like, that there is a way out, aren't you? I mean, you saw it a lot as you grew up, and yet you managed to go to university, get a master's degree. How did you escape that, if you like?
I'll say that when you have somebody who is you are looking up to, sometimes also help. I had a role model who was my elder sister, who really finished higher education, and she's the one who raised me. Despite that, I had my parents, but in the community that I was being raised, the issue of education was not something that parents were considering for their children, and the children themselves were not really interested in education. So my sister really took me out of that community and take me to where she was staying in town so that I can be able to finish my education. And because of that, and when I was looking at her as my role model, it pushes me to work so extra hard and to make sure that I should be able to support my other siblings, my family, and just to take ourselves out of poverty. So that's really what inspired me most. But you find that in other communities, especially like in our program for AGE Africa, most of these young girls, at the very first maybe to attend secondary schools, and most of them are firstborns, meaning that there's no one they are looking up to as a role model. So that one becomes a huge challenge when there's no one that can be able to pull you out of that situation.
Yeah, you say it's a huge challenge. I mean, what can organisations like yourselves do? I mean, can you put pressure, for example, on the government to push things even further?
We have several organizations that are pushing further to make sure that surely child marriage should end in Malawi. And the government also has doubled the commitment to make sure that we are really dealing with the issues of child marriage. But it will take really a while, and we need joint efforts from various sectors: the education, the health sector, the social development and social welfare, the gender departments, just to bring ourselves together, because all these need a multi-sectoral approach to make sure that we bring awareness at community and rural level. We bring awareness to the girls themselves. Like our organization, AGE Africa, we build the capacity of the girls, young girls, to be the leaders, to be the self-advocates through our program that we call it CHATS. It's creating health approaches to success. This is an after-school program that really build the girls' resilience and support them to be their own leaders so that they can champion child marriage. So it's working, but we need more voices on the ground.
Good to talk to you on the programme today. Thanks very much for joining us. That's Ulanda Mtamba, campaigner against child marriage, joining us there from Malawi. Thank you very much.